So I'm going to talk to you just briefly about an experience that we had about 5.5 months ago. It was a very tragic experience that we had with our closest friends that moved down here to help us with our business. And if you know Tom, he made the burritos at our markets. And he had an aortic aneurysm that ruptured in the middle of the night. And we called the ambulance. That took 40 minutes to come from Chaverna. We went to Progresso first because that was our closest point. From there, they took us to Merida, to the CMA in Merida. And he was to undergo a surgery to save his life. And so Tina and I, because we've been up since 3 in the morning, went to the cafeteria to just get something to drink and something to eat. And we're chatting, and we met Armando by chance. And we had been speaking to him for maybe 15 minutes or so, and all of a sudden, 3 medical people came out of the hospital and found us in the cafeteria and started speaking rapid-fire medical Spanish. I've lived here for 5 years. I feel like I have a good grasp on the language. This was outside of my wheelhouse. Words that you don't know, terms that you don't understand, amounts of money that were being requested was shocking. Tina, because it was, her husband just shut down completely. And for myself, to watch my friend shut down, and my closest friend is dying. I just turned to Armando, who stepped in immediately. He didn't know us. We'd known him for 20 minutes. And he stayed with us over the course of the next 2 days, because that's kind of what happened. So we had to meet with lawyers at the hospital. We had to go through a lot of different processes that we didn't understand. We had no insurance. And they are asking for hundreds of thousands of pesos up front. And I'm here to tell you that in that type of heightened emotional state, where a life is on the line, the last thing you want to have to think about is money. And if you had the security of having insurance, it would certainly lessen the stress that you're under. The next morning, he died, unfortunately, that evening, or in the early hours of the morning. We came home. The next morning at 8 a.m., they were calling. When are you coming to get this body? There is not a refrigerated area in the hospital, a morgue to keep the body. And they won't release the body until you've paid the bill in full. So you're trying to accumulate all the money that you could possibly get. It was a holiday weekend. Banks weren't open. There was just a lot of extenuating circumstances that just heightened the stress level. We were rallying with every friend that we had to try to pay the bill so that we could have the body released to the funeral home so that they could cremate him, which eventually did happen. But not until we had to speak to the lawyer and arrange, to come back to pay the balance, etc. But Armando stayed with us the entire time. He is very sympathetic and empathetic. He held us both when we cried and when we had no more. He came back to the hospital a couple different times, followed up with the hospital for us. It is imperative to have someone on your side like Armando, who is fluent in English and Spanish and can decipher these things for you and help you through this time, because in an emergency situation, you just don't have the capacity to deal with all of the things. I can't imagine having to deal with that on my own and not knowing any Spanish. So I would at this time like to introduce you to Armando. He is this lovely soul and a former missionary. And it was a divine meeting, I believe, that he was there at that time for us. And so he has started his own medical concierge service. And I want to do everything I can to help him. And I want to do everything I can to help you guys, because I don't want anybody to have to go through that, because it still, rocks me to my core.
Hola. My name is Armando. I am 52 years old. I know I look older, but I am only 52 years old. So don't start thinking I am 100 years old. Okay? I have long hair. My wife says I'm crazy. And I say, yes, I'm crazy. That's why I marry you. Right? And then you can imagine how I feel after I say that. I feel really sorry. But that's not something you should say to your wife. Okay? So yes, I met Tina and Lisa and her husband. Let me put it this way, by accident. I happened to be at the right place at the right time. But I didn't know anything about them before that moment when I got up from my table and I said, can I help you? And we were talking, and suddenly 3 doctors came and began, and they were like, huh? Can you help? And I said, yes, I can help. I have been working as interpreter and translator since 1995. So it's a long time ago. I also understand Maya, even though I don't speak it. But back in 1997, I worked at a general hospital, Hospital Oram. That's a hospital for very low income people. And I was able to translate or interpret from English to Spanish and from Maya to Spanish. I think I have a heart to do that. Lisa and Tina are my witnesses. In the worst moments, when everything is falling apart, I am just calm. No problem. I believe the Lord gave me the heart to know how to handle a terrible situation. Yes, I will confess to you, when I got home, I cried as a baby. But at the moment, you can lean on me. I will be there for you. I will be your interpreter, your translator. I will talk to the lawyers. I know how to handle lawyers. There is no difference between a Canadian, American, or Mexican lawyer. Do we have a lawyer here before I say something? Do we have a lawyer here? Sometimes they tell you so many words, but they don't tell you anything. Right? So I know how to handle lawyers. For some reason, I understand them. And I also understand the writing of the doctors. You see your prescription, you say, what? I have no idea what he means. Just give me your prescription, I will read it for you. Okay? I was a missionary a long time ago, and I was a missionary for many years. Being a missionary, the Lord gives you the opportunity to face so many things that you cannot imagine. Even in your wild dreams, you cannot imagine how people suffer and how much people need help. And you know what? I have been there. When people need help, for some reason, I'm there. And it's not me. I don't practice any religion, but I believe in God. I believe in God. Whenever you need me, I have my personal information printed on that table, my business card. Let me call it business card. But to me, this is not a business. To me, this is a calling to help people. Business to me is like Walmart, Target, Kmart, McDonald's. This is not a business for me. This is the way to touch people's life. Whatever I do for you, you may do it for somebody else, and before you know it, we have a chain of people helping people. And you know what? You are going to be blessed when you do something for people. The experience I had when I helped Tina and Lisa, it was a blessing to me. And I thank Lisa for inviting me to be here tonight to meet you. Because it is a blessing. Okay? You have any questions about me? I can ask you questions after the meeting. I am a simple person with his feet on the ground. This coming Saturday, I will be in Nuevo Laredo. I also have the opportunity many times to take people to the border. And Nuevo Laredo, believe me, is not Disneyland. Nuevo Laredo is a very, very dangerous place. But I will be there. I will be there because I love what I do. Yes, money helps. But when you do everything for money, money will never be enough. Right? Money will come along. You serve people, you help people, and money will come along. Right? That's what I have learned in my long 52 years of life. I have suffered like you have no idea. Maybe that's why I have that heart for people. That's why I have compassion. Because I know what it feels to cry all alone. I know how it feels to lose a loved one. I know. I have been there. I have been there. I lost my father. He died from liver cancer. I lost my mother. I am an orphan. You know? And I have been through so much in my life. But you know what? Every time something goes wrong, I see that as an opportunity to obtain more knowledge and to be compassionate and to have more love for people. I remember one time when I was at the general hospital, give me just 1 minute. Somebody came to me and told me, I don't have any money to buy lunch. Can you give me money? I didn't give him any money. I took him to the restaurant and he had lunch. That's what I do. I help people. I bless people as much as I can. I speak English, I speak Maya, and I speak Spanish, obviously. Thank you very much.